Everyday employees at the chip company Cerebras ask their internal AI system more than 15,000 questions. And it answers them with sources. But the number isn't really the interesting part. What's interesting is that they got there by ignoring the advice almost every company follows. They did the opposite and ended up with what some people now call a company brain. One place the whole company can ask anything and actually get an answer. So let me walk you through the ideas behind building one, where they pull all that scattered information from, the one trick that made the search actually work, and why people trust the answers enough to use it thousands of times a day. Now, you already know this problem, even if you've never named it. Someone new joins your team and they ask the same 3 questions everyone asks. Where do I find this? Who actually knows about that? And what does this even mean? The information exists. It's just scattered. A little in Slack, a little in some doc from 2 years ago, and a little in a closed ticket nobody remembers. So every few months, someone has a brilliant idea. Let's put everything in one place, one platform, one source of truth. And it never works. It never works because people don't create information where it's tidy. They create it where it's convenient. Let's be honest, nobody's going to discuss a code change inside a word processor. The single source of truth dream dies on contact with how humans actually work. So Cerebras flipped the whole thing around. Instead of forcing people to change where they work, they built a system that goes and collects the information from wherever it already lives. Slack, code, wikis, internal databases, and requires almost no change in behavior. Under the hood, it's simpler than you'd guess. Every source, a Slack thread, a chunk of code, a wiki page gets turned into a row in one single table. Same shape every time. And once something's in that table, it's instantly searchable through the same interface as everything else. Here's the business effect. Any team can plug in their own data by writing one small connector, no giant migration. Nobody gets told to move all their work to a new tool. The system grows sideways, cheaply and without a committee. But collecting all that data was the easy part. The hard part was getting a good answer back out of it. The first thing they tried was the obvious one. Take all that text and let the AI find matches by meaning. It mostly failed because real workplace chatter is messy. Picture a Slack thread. Someone asks, why does restore hang after manifest load? Buried 3 replies down, a teammate says, the checkpoint stalls on the NFS mount. Set the prefetch to 4. Same problem, 0 shared words. A basic AI search tool is never connecting those two. Meanwhile, a useless sounds good thanks scores suspiciously high just because it's short and friendly. So they stack several search methods on top of each other, each covering the other's blind spots. One catches the exact error codes you paste in. Another finds the meaning even when the words are completely different. A third rewards rare specific terms and ignores the filler. And the last one prefers recent answers, because a fix from 6 months ago might describe a system that no longer exists. But the real trick is what they do before storing anything. Instead of saving the raw messy thread, an AI reads the whole conversation and rewrites it into a clean little card. The question being asked, a short summary, the resolution, and the systems involved. So they're not really storing the conversation, they're storing the lesson from it. And that one change made their accuracy jump. And that's the takeaway hiding in plain sight. The magic isn't a smarter AI model, it's cleaning up your data before you hand it to AI. And that holds true whether it's a company's support tickets and SOPs or just a messy pile of notes and files on your laptop. Okay, so the data's collected and cleaned. This is where the company brain starts actually answering questions. Now, you must be curious what happens when you ask it something. First, the system pauses and plans. A quick AI pass looks at your question and decides which tools to use. Search the chat history, search the code, find recent changes, or even find the person who's the real expert on this. Then it runs all of those at once and pulls back a pile of candidate answers. Now, some of those will look relevant, but actually answer a different question. So it does something smart. It trusts consensus. An answer that shows up near the top across several searches beats an answer that ranked first in just one. Agreement wins over a single loud vote. Then a final AI pass writes the answer with citations and caveats attached. We've all been burned by AI that sounds confident and is completely wrong. This system is built to show its receipts. When AI can point to where it got the answer, people actually start to trust it. and a tool that people trust is a tool that people use 15,000 times a day. However, there was one more wall Cerebras hit. As the brain grew, search everything stopped being helpful. The compiler engineers didn't want infrastructure runbooks cluttering their results, and the infrastructure folks didn't care about the compiler chatter. So they added projects, basically curated bundles of the right sources for each team. When you join, you pick the one that matches your work, and from then on, your searches are automatically scoped to what's relevant to you. The quiet business win here is onboarding. A brand new engineer gets sharp, relevant answers on day one, without spending weeks learning which channels and docs even matter. That's faster ramp up, less senior time spent answering repeat questions, and knowledge that doesn't walk out the door when someone leaves. So let's take a step back, and here's what a chip company just taught the rest of us. They didn't win with a fancier AI, they won with 3 unglamorous ideas. Meet people where they already work, clean your data before you ask AI to use it, and make the answer prove itself with sources. Those are the 3 ideas behind any good company brain. None of that requires a research lab. However, it does require deciding your company's knowledge is worth organizing. So here's my question for you. If you build this for your business, where would you start? The scattered Slack or the tribal knowledge in one person's head? Tell me in the comments. Now, if your honest answer to that is that you wouldn't even know where to start, that's exactly the kind of thing I help companies with. If you want a company brain of your own, I turn all that scattered, messy knowledge into answers your teams can find in seconds, instead of forcing everyone onto some new platform. If that's what you're wrestling with right now, there's a link in the description to book an AI strategy audit call. And if this reframed how you think about AI in your business, hit like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.